39% gain in 23 minutes. But this isn't to show off, it's to show how. Come on. What's up, traders? If you've been enjoying the content I've been providing, please consider coming over here and clicking that subscribe button. And in the comments below, let me know what you think about today's video. What's up, traders? 7-Star Mike here, and tonight I want to show you the how behind the what. The what is Microsoft. 39% gain in 23 minutes. Here's the how. So I'm watching pre-market. It looks like it's dropping a little bit. At the open, we have this big red candle down, so I'm kind of thinking we're going to the downside here. Not 100% sure, I can't see the future, but my thoughts are that this might drop. So what I'm doing here is taking the very high and kind of making this triangle here with the low point connecting there. So we've got a little bit of choppiness, we're getting tighter, 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 looking for a break up or down. It did break up here, but again, my bias was towards the downside. Now for me, the perfect entry would have been this candle right here. Unfortunately, I took my eyes off the screen, and when I turned back, I was about this point here. I actually entered on this candle here. So you can see it's quite a bit lower than where I would have ideally wanted to enter. I'm going to pull up the chart that shows my entry and exit. This green line is where I entered. I did buy a put, and the red line down here is where I exited. Now, what am I looking at here? So let's go back to the first chart. We're bouncing between this little triangle here, and again, I was looking for a break to the downside, so this was a good entry, but again, my eyes were off the screen. By the time I turned back, it was over here. I still liked the idea, so I opened a position in puts. Now, it did turn against me for a little bit here, so you can see if the ideal entry was way back here, this wouldn't have mattered at all. But since I got in down here, I actually was red for a little bit until it started dropping way down here. Now on this candle, we hit a low and bounced up, and then we closed towards the low again. This candle was a little bit of a smaller candle. We hit that same low point and bounced up again. We closed near it. This candle, we hit that same low again, and then we started bouncing upwards, which is why 3 candles at that same low point was enough for me to exit. And again, if we pull that up, you can see that's where I exited. That red line was that third candle. If you look at the bottom here, it says 1025, where that line is. 1025 is where I exited. And I'm going to pull this here, 725, but I'm on the West Coast, so that is 1025. So 10:02 to 10:25, 23 minutes. In at 48, out at 67, that is a 39% gain, and depending on your account size, you can size accordingly. So if you have a $500 account, buy 1 contract. If you have $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, buy 3 contracts, maybe 5. If you have $10,000, whatever the dollar amount of your portfolio is, trade accordingly. The bottom line is it's 39% whether it's 1 contract or 100 contracts. 39%, not too bad there. Again, the break of this line here, we'll pull the actual line back up. This is what I was looking at. That's the proper entry. I did miss that one. I did get in here still thinking we were going to drop. Got out here because we saw 1, 2, 3 candles of the exact same low and it couldn't break. I want to pull in the actual chart for the contracts now. This is to show you the specific contract that I traded. This was the 170 puts. If I zoom in here, you can see this candle, this green candle here is the one that I should have entered on. And the high point of this was 43, the low point was 34. So if we got in here somewhere between, let's say 36, 38, that would have been a great entry. I got in here, I did end up paying, what did I pay? 48 was my entry. So if we could have got in here at 38, 40 even, that would have been a great entry. But again, I took my eyes off the screen. I did chase it up here. So that contract did hit a low of 0.3, 30 cents. I was in at 48, it did drop to 30 cents. So there was a little bit of a loss there. My exit though was way up here. You can see we had 1, 2, 3. It topped off there before dropping, so my exit was at the high point of that particular contract for that time frame. Now, it did actually go a little bit higher towards the end of the day, or towards the middle of the day here, but again, this wasn't a long-term trade. This was a quick scalp. I got what I wanted out of it. I saw a few points here where it couldn't get below, so I exited. That was 39% in 23 minutes. That's how it's done. Happy trading.